ei ole tekemässä sinne.
Ma olen väga ilusasti kihtitud siin.
See on hästi lähedal.
Ma proovin ka
Excellencies, colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen, good evening everyone. Let me start by thanking all of you here tonight for joining us in celebrating the Estonian Victory Day. Most of you know, some of you may wonder, what day is it exactly we are celebrating today, as the National Day of Estonia is on 24th of February. For obvious reasons, we are somewhat reluctant to celebrate February 24 for at least as long as the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine is ongoing. And as on June 23, we celebrate the most important victory in our war of independence back in 1919, we believe it is fully appropriate to celebrate it here in Ankara together with our friends. 24th of February, other than being our national day, marks the beginning of the Russian full-scale war of terror aggression against Ukraine in 2022, unleashing the gravest threat to the European security as well as to a world order the way you know it, the way we love it, since the end of the Cold War. The situation in the Middle East is also our joint concern. Estonia calls for continued diplomatic efforts to stop hostilities in the Middle East and prevent further escalation of the conflict. We are devastated by the humanitarian situation in Gaza and Lebanon. The humanitarian aid has to reach all those in need. The lasting solution to the Middle East conflict can only be achieved through the two-state solutions and on the basis of international law. Recognizing the common threat to our security has united us. Understanding amongst the NATO allies is stronger than ever before. The critical contribution Turkey is making to the security of our region by participating in the Baltic air policing mission from Estonia and Amavi next year is highly appreciated. As is the increased cooperation in defence, demonstrated most notably by Turkish manufacturers Noor Makina and Otokar by providing the Estonian Defence Forces with more than 200 new armoured personnel carriers. The procurement at the time was the biggest defence procurement ever done by the Estonian Defence Forces, worth more than 200 million euros. A number of these vehicles are already in Estonia, highly liked by our forces, by the way, being actively used in Estonia's largest military exercise, Hedgehog, in May. We in Estonia hope that the ever closer cooperation between Turkey and the rest of Europe also facilitates the full integration of Turkey with the European Union. I can add on a personal note, having had the privilege to serve as Estonia's ambassador to the European Union back in 2005 when Turkish accession negotiations with the EU started, but as far as Estonia is concerned, the end result of these negotiations is supposed to be the full membership. In this connection, I'm recalling Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan reminding us the wisdom to remain equally united in sharing benefits and burdens. We've come together a long way, and old Turkish wisdom says, Dostul bir ağaçtır uzun yıllarda büyür. Friendship is a tree that grows over many years. Last year, we celebrated the centennial of our diplomatic relations and friendship between our countries. Throughout these 100 years, we have been through thick and thin. Our relations have always been excellent, although Estonia was occupied by the Soviet Union for half of that century. Turkey never recognized the occupation, the relations never broke down. Now that we entered the new century in our relations, it is time to make the best use of the full potential of our friendship to enhance our bilateral relations in areas like culture, economy, trade, but also, of course, in defense. As many analysts have said, both here in Turkey as well as elsewhere, by only modernizing the customs union between us, we would unlock the full potential for mutually beneficial trade that would double over the coming years. In terms of our bilateral trade, that would make it possible to take our trade volume far beyond the billion we've been aspiring for. Let me also add a couple of words about cultural cooperation. This year we celebrate the 90th birthday and the music of the most known Estonian composer Arvo Pärt. One of his masterpieces, Adam's Lament, was first performed 15 years ago in Istanbul in the presence of the presidents of Turkey and Estonia. Last year, Adam's Lament was played again here in Ankara. I'm pleased to note that the Arvo Pärt's music has also found its way to the repertoire of Turkish musicians. I was also pleased to recognize here in our midst friends from the Tashkent University, with whom we have worked together in calling to life the Ankara Animation Festival. Looking forward to contributing to the success of the second edition of the festival later in fall. I could go on and list a long list of activities. However, I do recognize that I'm already speaking for too long. It's time to wrap up. Let me once again thank all of you for your contribution to our cooperation with Turkey. Thank you all of you for joining us here tonight. And last but not least, let me also thank my colleagues from the embassy and my wife Kaire for indeed making all of these activities happen. So thanks very much again.
Congratulations to the people of Estonia on this meaningful day, which symbolizes the enduring spirit of the Estonian nation. And I'm really pleased to note that on this special occasion, Turkish stars of the Turkish Air Force will perform an aerobatic demonstration in Estonia. This special demonstration also embodies the solidarity between our nations as two NATO allies. Last year, as you also underlined, marked the centenary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Turkey and Estonia, and we were pleased to host President Karis in our country. This historic milestone served as a valuable opportunity to reflect on the depth of our ties and to further enhance the mutual understanding and cooperation between our countries. Turkey-Estonia relations are strong and based on mutual trust and respect from the very beginning onwards. And Turkey was among the strong supporters of Estonia's NATO membership. And now, today, both as friends and allies, as you also underlined, our nations contribute meaningfully to the collective defense of Europe. In this context, we take pride in contributing to Baltic air policy in Estonia Amara Air Base in 2026. And our growing defense cooperation, exemplified by Turkey's recent contribution to the Estonian Defense Forces, illustrates the strategic depth of our partnership. Turkey and Estonia continue to strengthen their cooperation across a wide range of areas, with our particular emphasis on further deepening our economic ties and expanding our trade capacity. Beyond political, economic, and diplomatic relations, of course, people-to-people contact is very important. And cultural exchange, especially lately educational ties between our countries, continue to grow and enrich our understanding of one another. And that's not enough, of course. That's not enough. We believe that there remains a significant untapped potential in our bilateral agenda, and we are determined to work together in order to realize it. Distinguished guests, as you will all agree with me, I guess, we are passing difficult times. Sometimes words are really helpless in defining our feelings. As Gramsci, Italian political scientist, many decades ago underlined, yes, the old is dying and the new cannot be born. We really face many difficult challenges in this transition period where we need to cooperate and increase our engagement more and more. Europe's security environment has undergone a radical transformation in recent years, both on the east and south. First, Russian aggression against Ukraine, then the ongoing genocide in Gaza, collapse of the regime in Syria, and now Israel's unlawful aggression against Iran have fundamentally changed European neighborhood. We need to take more responsibility in the defense of our continent. And as European allies, we believe that the best way forward would be to increase our contributions to the European security by strengthening European pillar of NATO. And at that point, I would like to touch upon Turkey-EU relations as well, because I believe that we believe that as two important actors of Europe, Turkey and the EU need to draw from each other's strengths across the full spectrum of all security challenges. We are only as strong as we are united, as weak as we are divided. We need a robust and institutionalized relationship between Turkey and the EU more than ever. And I'm not saying this as Director General for EU Affairs. It's really what I have experienced in the last 25 years. This agreement between Turkey and the EU shouldn't mean disengagement. We may not agree on certain things, but at the end of the day, we are side by side. Turkey is a part of Europe, and we need to increase our engagement in all areas, because all these things that we are talking about are common challenges to all of us. In that respect, we deeply value Estonia's principled and consistent support for Turkey's EU membership and appreciate Estonia's continued advocacy for a fair accession process. I would like to thank you once again for your kind invitation and generous hospitality, Ambassador. Please accept my heartfelt congratulations for Estonia's Victory Day.